And good evening, good morning, good night for everybody is there who has come to see this fantastic and one of maybe the biggest group in Facebook for all the riders of OneWheel, lovers of OneWheel. We have today here two very special persons who know everything. I want to thank here to Chris and I want to thank here to Jeremy. And I'm very sad that Victor cannot come today. He's one of the three administrators of one of the best groups I ever see. All well organized. They have three types of types of groups. That's why maybe it's not the biggest, but when you see everything, they are the biggest ones because you have the one wheel Warner groups, you have the one wheel crash group, and you have the one wheel new riders pre-sales. You have three groups that is very, very big. And if you have the chance, go there, subscribe if you are a one wheeler, if you are a one wheel lover. I'm going to leave all the links here. And first of all, like always, welcome Jeremy, welcome Chris.
Thank you
for accepting.
Yeah, thanks.
Glad to be here.
Man, I'm very happy to have you, the two of you here. That is like a magic day. First of all, like always, my friend, I want to thank everybody who's going to come today or maybe later to see these two guys here. They take his private time. That is Sunday. They have families and like all of us, and they take a little time for you guys to explain a little more about this beautiful group. And we started very fast. First of all, if you have questions, leave it for later. We're going to see if you have time for that, and we're going to start how this group started. Please, can start, Jeremy.
It was pretty easy. So Future Motion has their forum online. I, just like everyone else, I one day walked into a Ron John surf shop and I saw this weird looking device on the wall with a giant wheel. And I was like, that looks pretty awesome. So I saw some YouTube videos, etc. Ended up buying a V1. I was very active on the Future Motions stock board, and it was very cumbersome. It was hard to post pictures, videos, and as soon as you get a one wheel, you're super stoked, you're super excited. All you want to do is share content and experiences with people, and it was really it wasn't an easy process, and not the most exciting thing, but I've had saltwater fish tanks for 15 years, and I was familiar with Facebook groups from having the fish tank. So I'm like, this is like a no-brainer. How can, why am I even wasting my time? So I created that group, and it just built traction. Jeff McCosker started posting a lot of stuff in the group and being really an advocate of saying like, hey guys, like bag this. This is a pain in the butt. Why don't we all go over here and it'll be super easy for us to share stuff. And that was the beginning of it grabbing traction. And as time went on, more and more people just kept requesting to join. It is a closed group, so we don't actively go out and advertise to have members come to us. They're literally just finding us on Facebook and joining. So it's been an adventure, to say the least, just the whole one wheel industry and watching it grow, evolve, and mutate in different areas. And the One Wheel Owners Group has been definitely something that's been a great pleasure to be a part of, and really to see the community really grow. And that's why we sprouted out with the other different groups, because it is a one wheel device. People are going to fall off of it. People are going to get boo-boos. So that's why we created the crash group. So there's a dedicated boo-boo group. So, to try to organize some of the data. It's not the easiest thing to do with Facebook groups, but that's why we have the crash group, to try to mitigate some of that out of the general group, so we can keep the stoke high in the owners group. And if you do crash and break a couple bones, at least you have like people to share that experience with and what you're going through.
Yeah,
The new riders group is we made because we were hoping to try to keep, the entry level questions there. We still get a lot of entry level questions in the owners group, but that was our shot of trying to mitigate that.
I think that was very important for the three things that you created. I think that was fantastic, first of all, because then you can separate and then you can go, if you are a starter, you can go there. This question that you have all the time, you're not going to see in your group, the biggest group, because it's always the same question. This way they can go there and find a nice way. And for the crash, of course, I think that was a fantastic idea, because sometimes some guys don't like to see it, or there is ladies, or there is kids,
Exactly.
and that is the best way for you to separate everything. I think the idea was brilliant, and then later that was better, because the other groups, they see it and they say, oh, why not do it? And you see today lots of groups using the same thing that you guys work. And you, Chris, how do you start it with this fantastic group in your life?
Yeah, so it was really pretty interesting. There was a somebody in my neighborhood, oddly enough, that my girls were having a Halloween party, and I saw this contraption, and I had all the same questions, like, what is this guy driving? What is he riding? Did he make that? And it's just silly to have all the same questions, but it's just very natural. And so I found out about OneWheel, and this was around like Halloween of 2016, and I had to have it. I drove my wife crazy. So I had to go look it up and find it, and then somehow Santa brought it for me, which was great. That Christmas was awesome, and that's one of my original pictures, is me holding the board. Santa brought me the board, so it was great. And then soon after that, I was on, like Jeremy had said, I was on the OneWheel.com community forum, and it was arduous. It was tenuous to try to make a post or to put any pictures in. A lot of original community members that have been through that can certainly attest to that. Some people still stick with it, but it's still a difficult thing to operate and to interact with people. So OneWheel Owners Group was a natural thing for me to look into. And soon after that, I was in and happy to be a part of it. And Jeremy was running a giveaway. And it was for one of his original products, this OW Reflect, for your hub of your wheel to sort of shine and enhance rider visibility from the side, especially. So night rides, it was great. Safety being a big part of it. And I just made some kind of goofy, sort of smart alecky comment there, but Jeremy put up with me, and that's how we actually struck up a friendship. And so soon after that, I was just able to be a part of the group more and more, and try to bring the positivity and try to lead by example, even just to be a good person, just be a naturally, this is the way I am on the internet, but I'm also this way in real life. I just try to treat everybody with respect and promote the stoke. So that's kind of my story for it.
And then the first of all, that is the I think is the important thing. You see how big is the group from you guys is because you do it everything perfect. If I know that there's lots of groups there, they go to a limit and they don't stop it there. But that is always, that's why I think it's perfect. You have the three persons there, Jeremy, now you, now Victor. I think you are making a good magic for the OneWheel family, because it's difficult to control it. And for me, I just tell, and you, Jeremy, when you start this, do you think you're going to create something for the community? Like I know that today you have a company that helps the one wheelers. When you started, you think you're going to create something like the Cobra, like the enclosure with the lights?
No, I mean, when I started the Facebook owners group, it was really just, more about just group. I wasn't at that point. I didn't have anything on my radar. I had never developed any kind of products. I come from an information technology background. At that point, I had my hands full with my I have a very small computer consulting company. So it wasn't until about maybe 6 or 8 months that I I started just looking at the one wheel, and I had actually seen the reflectors are actually based off of motorcycles, and I saw that, and I was like, there was always things about the one wheel and things if the way Future Motion marketed the product that I was worried about safety. So night visibility to me seemed like a good opportunity. Being from someone who actually has been hit by a car as a kid, it's not a fun experience. And I hope that some of my products avoid that happening to anyone else. So that's the safety was the number one thing at first. The reflectors, I used to sell 888 safety equipment, but with size and fitment and being one person, it was just hard to sell online. But I would always recommend before anyone ever steps on a one wheel to go to your local skate shop, get a good fitting helmet, make sure it fits correctly, make sure it's a certified helmet, and get the proper gear, because if you're hurt, you can't ride. You know what I mean? It defeats the purpose. So
No. And like me, what you as a riders today, Jeremy and Chris, what you like to ride normally? Do you like to go, and because I see that you have tires there, and what type of rider are you? Trails, off road, more in the streets? What do you,
Chris,
Chris?
do you want to go first?
Sure, sure. I generally speaking am more of a trail rider. I just love the trails. Honestly, it's a little bit more of a natural kind of a fun place for me to be, being away from cars, and trying to avoid that. So, the trails are just a lot of fun. You don't need to be a speed demon. You can go after some speed, but just like that, these little wood features and just these little gravel paths and the single track mountain bike trails. And I'm fortunate to live close by. I was there this morning for a little bit. I spoke with Jeremy this morning. I was out riding because it's just the weather's finally been great. It's 45, which is not very warm, but it was clear and somewhat sunny. And I just hit my favorite local spot. And I talked to no less than probably 4 or 5 people about, hey, what's that? That's a one wheel, and I'm kind of cruising around and just having fun. To me, that's primarily the best. I can appreciate the love for getting around a city. I had an opportunity last weekend to be in Indianapolis, and there were great people there, and the city was a magical environment just in itself, just to cruise around a little bit, kind of like our old buddy Andrew Stroh, in Chicago. I was just always amazed that he could handle the city like that, and even Jeff and some of those guys, in Sacramento, just enjoying the city urban kind of street shred. So it's been a heck of a fun toy, a heck of a fun device, and a great way to meet some awesome people. Jeremy's a good friend of mine now. Vitto's a good friend. Sean Schwantes, just awesome people, but mostly trails.
But and just for me to just to say it, the important thing is here you create so a good family, and in a one wheel group, you create so good friends, and you take it maybe for life all the time. I have.
Absolutely. Right behind me. Whoop, wrong side. Who's that guy? That's me, but that was from my buddy Fabuz in
Let's see.
southern France. This
Yes.
guy, I would never know if it wasn't for one
Nicest
of them.
guy ever.
He is awesome. His wife, Amandine, I miss you guys. It's just beautiful to have a friendship with different people. Ignatz, who's been on your show before, I think you
Yes.
sometimes go by David, and
Yes.
that dude's a great guy. You saw him at Float Life Fest and down in North Carolina, just hanging out with some buddies. I'm passing around pepperoni rolls from West Virginia. It was great.
Ignat is always riding with me, and we
He's
live
awesome.
we live not so far one from the other.
Nice.
Mhm.
And he's a fantastic person. He's a fantastic rider. He loves the one wheels. He was in a flow life there in America, and he loves
Mhm.
to be. And I think he is like I think he has three one wheels in a moment, and is in love with one wheels, and is a big representation from you guys. And you have Vincent. Vincent is a guy from Holland. He's a fantastic rider. He's with a Fat Daddy, I think, represent a Fat Daddy. He's a fantastic rider, fantastic person. And
Yeah.
then you have Yok was with you guys in America too. He's a fantastic rider here from Germany too.
Aw-
And you, Jeremy, how for you? What is the best wheel that you use? What you like more, trails or street?
For me, it's actually a mix of sand and gravel. There's a state park that has really beautiful scenic views. I took Chris and Shawnee there over the summer. That's kind of like my
Shawnee.
perfect spot. Sean Schwantz, Shawnee. It's pretty much a mix of a fine gravel and sand. It gives it just like a nice little slip and just really relaxing scenic rides. That's what makes me happy. That's kind of like my Zen peace moment. And that's just where I get the most enjoyment out of it. Give me some nice scenic views any day of the week, and that's what I'm looking for.
And well, how do you came with this vibe, the Cobra, the name, the why do you? What was your idea when you started with this?
Well, I wrestled a snake in South Florida. No, I'm joking.
I don't remember that.
I said that is going to be very good. I'm going to see if it's profi, if it's going to be a profi in lying or not. But that was but you can continue.
Yeah. No, I just
That was very
the
good.
job that I come from was never very creative. So, now you have this opportunity, you have a blank sheet of paper. I could have called it Crazy Daisy Looney
Yeah.
Tune Footpad McGee. You know what I mean? So I just tried to use things that were different and, maybe catch people's attention, maybe a little edgier,
Yeah, with a
and just,
fantastic name. It's a
yeah. So
fantastic
just,
name.
it was an opportunity for me to have some fun and be creative. So that's kind of the names. I just sat down and I just kind of played around with different stuff, and the naming, that's where it came from.
And the fender, when you create the first time the fender, because this fender is the only one we see in a market like this, because you can carry it, you can put the lights. I know a lot of guys using, because if you go in a night that is in the right position, you can go right, and you're going to have a fantastic light. How do you came with this idea? Was because you try it in the evening and you was like not so many light? What was the idea?
Okay.
Come with
Well, the first concept was, if you're going to make something, why make the bare minimum?
Mhm.
Like, why am I going to make a fender when there's a fender out there? Like, why make something that just covers the wheel? Like, if I'm going to go through the time, energy, and effort, why am I going to make the bare minimum and just copy something that already exists? So that was the first thing. The second thing was, anyone who's ever carried a one wheel, it's awkward. So, and even if you use some of the, side handles, you're still rubbing a dirty tire all over your pants. So I was like, hey, like, let's see what I can do with the handle. And then the next part was like, look, okay, again, if I'm already going to make this and put this time, energy, money, what else can I add to this thing to bring more value? So if you've ever ridden at night with a one wheel, the light dispersion out of the front is good. But if you're riding 15
It's not
miles an
enough.
hour, that light dispersion, the area that's illuminating, by the time you see that pothole, it's too
Yeah.
late. You need that projection to go farther out in front of you. And the way you get that is by moving the lights higher up. So that's the first thing. So you got to move the lights higher up. And then the next thing you find out is, depending on your shoe size, it's going to clip part of your leg. So that's why I have these extenders that you can pop in and out to move the flashlight away from you. So, it was really just, I wanted to give the consumer the biggest bang for the buck and to give them a product that wasn't just passive, that now was active. It was giving you more than just a fender, to do more than just keeping your pants from getting dirty. So that was the concept with the Night Shark.
Yeah, but this fender, you have lots of things you can do it, because you have you have for the camera. You can put it's like a complete set in one fender.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Swiss
it
Army
works
fender.
really well with the Garmin 360. You can get like some incredible action shots. I'm sorry, Chris, what were you gonna say?
No, you're good. I was going to say sometimes people have called it the Swiss Army knife of
Yeah.
fenders, right? So I think Jamie T out of Florida said that. So it's really a pretty handy, no pun or pun intended. But it's taken a beating. I love the trails. I've rolled that thing on Rudy rocky trails. It's been fine. I've rolled it on the street.
It's
It's been
much
great.
thicker. It's hard
Hmm.
for people to see, but the material is way thicker than the let's say the stock fender. I mean, it's about 3 to 5 times thicker.
Yeah, and Nelson, if you can on your website navigation, you could see Jeremy on Street Shred has like a view it in
3D
3D, and man, that's
augmented
pretty
reality.
cool. Augmented reality, you can just spin this thing around and just see it from all angles, and it's just sweet. It's just an amazing thing. Jeremy's kind of always innovating. I would say, like, I love how he's got some reflective stickers. I mean, that little Viper head as a
Mhm.
sticker is just a sweet camera shot. Who doesn't like take pictures of your one wheel? For some reason, I'm guilty of it. I take pictures all the time of my one wheel.
What you trying to say? This one? Where that? Oh, here.
It's like an augmented reality. You can see somewhere at the bottom, I think it says, where you could see it in augmented reality, right,
It's
Jeremy?
supposed to pop up a little bar. So who knows? Who knows? Oh wait, what's that at the very bottom? I saw the bar.
Yeah, I
At
think
the
it
very
is
bottom. There
popping
it
up.
is. So wait, stop flipping. Just see. Wait, stop moving it.
Ah, okay. Okay. Yeah, you can put it here, and then you can. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's really pretty neat to be able to see it from all angles. It's just a
Okay.
more interactive
You
type
It's
can.
of
at
You
the
can.
very
scenario.
bottom. See where it says view in AR in blue at the very bottom of the screen, Nelson?
Yeah.
That's the
In-
model. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was just more of anything that I do. I'm always like, how can I do more? Like, I don't want to do just the base minimum that's already been done.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and you have lots of colors here. I can see it.
Yeah. Yep.
That that is lots of colors. Wow.
Mhm.
And for us here in Europe today, for me, I want to buy something here with this COVID-19. Is being an issue for you, or is easy to send it?
I've definitely lost a lot of money on shipping. Shipping with COVID is definitely not a fun process, especially shipping internationally. Free Move, which is a company out of Europe, they have some of my products. I do not know 100% of their existing inventory, but I would highly recommend if someone is interested in a Cobra pad or Viper pad
Hmm.
to check with them first, just so they can get the savings on shipping.
Hmm.
Um, I absolutely can ship internationally. Is it going to take a long time? Is it going to be expensive to ship? Yes, but that's just the reality of shipping internationally, unfortunately.
I'm going to say something for you guys. It's like that's why I asked this. I send a controller to a friend for me in America, and takes about 3 months to go there.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean it's usually not that bad, but the problem is anything can get held up if they think there's duty fees and
Hmm.
the customer isn't checking with their local import, the item can just be sitting there and it never leaves. So it's just
Yes.
Thank you.
it's gotten better. I switched my shopping cart system. So some of the I feel like shipping has gotten more reliable since I've done that. But yeah, international shipping honestly is not my favorite thing. But yeah, I do it.
So, guys, the other thing, you are every day busy with a one wheel owners group, and you see lots of people riding, making complaints, making maybe that this can be updated, that can do it in a one wheel. When you listen, what you think can be changed in a one wheel in the future? That you listen more from the guys in your group, uh, what you personally think that needs to be changed in a one wheel, as you Jeremy, or as you as Chris, or from the group, what you listen more, and what you think is going to be very important to, or you think that is okay now the board like is the OneWheel now in a moment? What's your opinion? You can start with Jeremy.
Oh, of course. Of course. Can't pick Chris.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean,
Okay, wait. I make a coin.
I have, my own personal dream wish list. I think we all have different things, and there's just so many diverse opinions. There's some safety implementations and features that I would like to see happen. That's not necessarily the views of the community, so I don't really want to put that out there. I think the number one thing that most people want to see is on the pint board. They want to see more range. I got to think that's a no-brainer. And I think I got to assume from the factory at some point that Future Motion is going to release a pint with more range. I just think that's a no-brainer, and it's just an inevitability. I think that's, I feel like the main thing. For me, I think that's probably, that, like I said, there's safety things. I'm not going to get too into it because they're very polarizing topic. But I would like to see some additional safety features at least be optional. I don't think anyone should be forced into any situation, but integrated into the app that you can turn on and off, I think is a no-brainer. Give the rider the opportunity to choose what safety functions they want or don't want.
Okay.
That's kind of my 2 cents, I guess.
I think that is a very good. The way you say it, I think is fantastic. And you, Chris, you are.
Yeah, so I've never ridden an e-skateboard, Evolve or anything like that. I would love to. I don't think I'm in a prime area to experience that, but I'm sure that there would be some differences of, someone saying, I wish it could do this, and I wish it, had a swappable battery. Maybe they do. I think that's pretty great. That is usually one thing you hear about for OneWheel, for, hey, maybe making an increased range, but there's lots of folks that have found some really unique and wonderful workarounds for that. And again, it kind of speaks to the community at large, and folks like that fellow up above my picture there with his pretty cool looking OneWheel, Sunny Wheels. So, there's always options. There's no shortage of other folks that are also working on things like that. Waterproofing would be, wonderful. Like we had an opportunity in Indianapolis to ride. I brought my OneWheel, of course, and some of the people we were with had nothing with them, and they thought, let me ride this little bird scooter. And this thing's sitting out at night and, rain. I'm thinking, how's this thing packaged in a way that it operates just fine, it would seem? I don't know. Maybe they malfunction. So, having something that's consistent, it's not to dig on anybody, of course, but having some improved quality control, even, it's so discouraging to hear of someone having an issue with a board that may or may not have not had the most care taken when it was assembled. This nut's a little loose on the pint, and lo and behold, that's going to cause an issue for somebody. That's frustrating, especially on a pretty high dollar piece of equipment, fun machine.
And you try it, the two of you, do you try the pint? Because like me and Jeremy, we are big guys. I tried the pint. The pint is very small for me. It's like
I have the pint.
I mean, I have the pint and the XR.
I'm coming in a lean and mean 240. Lean and mean 240, baby. And I just lost 10 pounds. So I feel you on that one.
I'm 170 pounds sopping wet with all my clothes on. So,
okay.
I like the pint.
I have 100 more.
I like the XR just as much too. I mean, it's wonderful to have this battery available to you and to tool around on the trails. I don't get 18 because I'm sure I'm going up and down different trails and the resistance, and it's just fun. Some single track. The pint is super nimble and fun in its own way, and just a whole lot of fun too. So I love it when people are just having fun.
For me the big problem for the pint is I cannot do so many miles, and then it's like I lose the interest. When I go with my normal OneWheel, and I have the range, I can go a little faster and everything, and I have the OneWheel, the V1. My OneWheel, the V1 is the 627. Is one of the first ones, and that is like my baby. I love it, and
Awesome.
I'm very sad that I cannot. I hope that, like Jeremy told, I hope that they make a little more range in a pint, maybe because the pint is very small. You can move it very fast, and you can. It's totally different, but we have to see. I don't know how that's going to work. And guys, the other thing what I like to for you to talk about is how is the you that you are the big group, you are the person, you are the group that everybody is going to talk to. uh how is your how do you work with the other groups? Is easy, is very difficult, or how is because you have so many. I think the one wheel is the, I don't know how many groups there is of one wheel. It's a lot of them. I
There are
try
still
to
a lot of
I,
them.
I try to go with many of them, and I lose myself. I have one of them too. And how is that with you guys to work with so many small groups together?
I
Is
think it's
that
great
easy?
to have some small groups. It really is, because those are the opportunities for people to really, sort of get into, hey, we're going to message each other and have a group ride. When I was in Indianapolis, I joined the Indianapolis group, and it was very welcoming. And hey, we're going to have a group ride. Come on. And, it's a neat way to interact in that sense. I'm also a member of some different groups out on the West Coast, and I'd love to get out to the West Coast, but I don't see that happening for me anytime soon with family and work and finances and just, the
It's
economy
not
the way it
easy.
is for me. It's not. But the big groups, we interact, I would say, just fine. We have a lot of cross membership, different places. One Will Owners Group is a private group, but we do that in an attempt to sort of really sort of have people that are like-minded, if you will, like one wheel, interested in one wheel. It's a large group, and you have no shortage of different personalities, and some folks are a little bit stronger personalities, but we really just strive to have a good, helpful, supportive environment, a respectful environment, have fun. Uh, Both Jeremy and I
Enjoy it.
are also members of other smaller groups, and they're unique in their own way. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean, I,
very
I think smaller groups are integral. I mean, we have one gigantic fishbowl with 25,000 members, but I think at the end of the day, the whole point of all these groups is to connect with other people. And hopefully, eventually, it matures to the point that, you can meet those people. And that's why float life has been so integral, because this gigantic fishbowl was all
mm,
able to meet at one location and put a name to a face,
sure,
and make
yeah.
a connection. And that's where a lot
Yeah.
of, like, my lifelong friends have come from the
Yeah,
one
big,
wheel community
big
was,
shout out to Justin T. Thompson for
yeah,
creating and
absolutely.
organizing Float Life Fest 1. That was a tremendous thing. Super awesome.
That I think is a fantastic thing. I was to go there last year, but because of this COVID-19,
Right.
we cannot fly. They don't give the permission. It was me, the Ignar, and the guys here, and some girls. We want to go there, and we want to rent some one wheels there, because you cannot
Awesome.
fly with the one wheels. That is, I think, is the only thing is very difficult. But in America, I think it's easy because you can rent it. Here in,
Yeah.
in Europe, it's very difficult for you to find to rent it one wheel.
Mm.
uh, is not good, not like in America. But for you guys, working, you one of the biggest groups. Do you work directly with the one wheel, or is difficult sometimes the contact with them? Is easy to contact with the one wheel and say,
Yeah. That's the funniest thing I heard all day, man. You're a comedian. Is that your part-time job? Did you stand up?
no, because
Stand
you
up.
say you say the first one from the Cobra, and I say, okay, we're going to go this the same level. I know it's difficult. I know. I try to talk with him. I know it's not easy.
They're like, what? What? You can knock on their door. You keep your fingers crossed if they're gonna answer.
Okay, let's move it.
It would be great. I think, a lot of us would like to have some interaction and
I,
some
I,
positive
I think I,
interaction.
I think it's not good. I think they have to take care of us. We do so many things. We work so hard, and that I think was very important. If they work with maybe the big groups and change the way. But I don't want to talk about that. That was just a little joke for
You
everybody.
got me. You got
No,
me.
no, they understand it. They're going to understand it. Don't worry. Uh, I'm for the community, my friend. I love my communities, and I love the guys that are right like you, two of the two of you, my friends. Next question: what you like more, Jeremy? And yeah, that is very nice. What you like more, riding in a day or in an evening as riders? Please,
I'll go first,
Chris.
just to give
Chris, of course.
Jeremy some time there, I guess. But I've not really had great opportunities to go out at night. But when I can, I do. You know, when I first met Jeremy, he was having all these reflect things and available. I was like making time to go out at night just so I can get some video of it and send it to him, and hopefully he could use it. And you know, so it's really been almost great just to motivate you to do things. So most of my time is through the day. You know, whenever I can steal away for a little bit and hit those trails, it's just super fun. But if an opportunity comes up to hang out with Jeremy at his local place and you know do some night riding with him and Sean, that was super fun. And Indianapolis, it was super fun. So tons of great experiences. I'm sort of a mix on there, but it's mostly just getting out to the trails. So.
Yeah, and you, Jeremy.
I mean, I think anyone that lives in a coastal town, if you have the opportunity to ride during a coastal sunset, is
Gorgeous.
awesome.
Yeah,
You know
and the
what I mean?
hardtack can,
And the
beautiful.
temperatures are breaking, and you know you're getting the beautiful sunset on the water. You know, if you can swing that, like more power to you. That's pretty awesome.
Mhm.
For me, it's more about time and can I get to the location where I want to ride before it gets too crowded. One of my major mantras, especially with parks and a lot of the talks we're talking about, you know, off the air about, you know, getting kicked out of places. I kind of do like a surgical strike. I get in real early in the morning, then before anybody gets there, I'm already done riding. You know, that way there's no one to ruffle any ranger feathers or anyone, and I haven't affected anyone one way or another. I got a great peaceful ride, and you know, and then I'm done for the day.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
perfect, man. I love to go with my wheel and go in the evening because here I live in a small village and I live back to the Rhine river, and that is perfect to go outside.
Awesome.
The other thing I want to ask you, what you like more in your one wheel when you go at you like to go speedways, or you just love to enjoy the board and like flowing in your board? What is the
Absolutely, it's an easy choice here. It's like I remember pushing it kind of hard, like the first couple of months, just like everybody typically does. And you know, I hit 20 and rolled it and thought you know, I was a badass. You know, I had a helmet on, thank goodness. But I mean, I did the old human washing machine and tore my hamstring up a little bit, but thankfully nothing, any serious injury beyond that. So for me, it's all about just enjoying the carving and hitting the single track and just enjoying the scenery. Like Jeremy was mentioning, have an opportunity to go down and see some friends in Florida, and the community is so great that Kristen Curtis, she's like, yeah, you can borrow my board. We're down in like Clearwater area. It was awesome. You know, it's just great people. So, you know, it's just a much easier time to just enjoy the board itself. Right? The actual ability of the board is super fun just to carve around.
And you, Jeremy?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I'm not going to be breaking any speed records on the one wheel anytime soon. I can tell you that.
And the one wheel is not for speed. One wheel is to enjoy.
You know what I mean? For me, you know, like Jeff would say, the float, carve. You know, for me, it's about relaxation. It's not about adrenaline.
Yes.
So,
well, you can still get your adrenaline doing some tricks or just hitting some gnarly track, and so
you can do so many things. That is like a dream for us. And the other things, you as a riders, you come from a big group. What do you use normally as safety, or what you recommend? That's just for everybody to know. That is just opinion from us. Everybody can do whatever they want, and don't think we are telling you, because sometimes you say, oh, I'm going to use this, and everybody, oh, why you say? And the internet is very difficult. That's why it's just opinions from us. And
Right.
first of all, I just want to say I show some things here from Jeremy. I'm going to show something from Chris. I'm not receiving no money. They are not paying. That is just talking. That is just persons I invited. They tell me directly we're going to come, and that is nothing is paid. That I'm very proud to have them here. They are a big group. They are very busy, and they come here. That to explain for everybody. So, but to go to the point, my friend, you as what you use normally as safety when you ride, and what you recommend. You can
You want
start.
to take it, Jeremy?
I mean, I try to make it a fact every time for me personally that I wear a helmet. That's my number one priority for me personally. Um, like I said before, the main thing that I look at if I walk into a skateboard shop, I want to flip the back of the box over. I want to make sure that it's certified. That's the key thing. I mean, the brand really is secondary, but I've actually I've had non-certified helmets versus certified. I flipped them over. You can see a much different build quality in the foam that they use on the inside for the impact absorption. And for
Mhm.
me, like I don't have many brain cells left, so I need to make sure I keep as many as I do. So I'm going certified helmet. I'm making sure when I put it on, the strap is tight and it fits. That it fits under my triple chin, and then I'm ready to rock. Sometimes I'm a slacker and I don't put my knee pad, elbow pads, wrist guards on, but all that stuff to me can heal, you know. So, and I'm not preaching to anyone to do. People can do whatever they want, however they want to ride. But for me personally, I try to make sure I at least slap the helmet on.
You can if you want. Yeah, so I would just echo that for me. Sorry, that was our one of our dogs. But you know, we, wearing a helmet for me is just not maybe the most enjoyable thing, honestly, but I put it on. You know, it's just easy for me to try to be an example for my kids. But also just to try to protect myself and sort of be a good example if I'm out there and people do happen to see me on the trails. Maybe they at least see that I'm sort of, taking steps to be a responsible rider. I'm always very courteous when I ride around people. Just send them out. Just send them out. Sorry.
No problem.
Chris, can you handle your dogs
Family.
over there?
I
Come on, it's
can.
very-
I got my 14-year-old.
Maybe they want to come in the live.
I think
Let-
so. Yeah. Yeah.
Let them speak a little.
They were.
Yeah.
So, definitely a helmet. I actually work in the healthcare field. So for me, it's just a little bit sort of hits close to home if you've ever had somebody that you know and love, or, someone that you've heard about that had a pretty bad experience. And it's a simple thing to do. And I'm no, super agile kind of guy. So I'm just enjoying, just the time on a OneWheel with my family, but certainly put at least the helmet on. Some things that are just easy to kind of get and, take care of your hands, right? That's probably backwards. I don't know if it is or isn't.
they're normal, Chris.
Yeah. So, that's kind of a neat thing. CC Travis has a pretty neat, great system there with the hard pucks that you can kind of see. And it's just an opportunity to have some extra protection for your wrist and hands, your elbows. I don't always pad up, but at the very least, helmet, hopefully something to kind of keep the skin still intact on my hands if I happen to take a tumble and try to be a human rolling ninja there, which I'm not.
Okay. And now we're going to come just to a point, a question that I want to talk about your group. What is the idea from this group? What you like to bring for the people who want to come to the group? What is the first of all, that is the name. It says everything. OneWheel Owners Group, because it's different from the other ones. Here, everybody who owns have to come. Do you sometimes block some persons to come in a group because they don't have nothing to do with the OneWheels? Because there is lots of guys who wants to sell it. There is lots of guys who want to. They don't. You own one group, and I know sometimes it's very difficult for you to put it. And you make these questions: do you have that on that? And they don't have nothing to do with the group. It's for you guys. tell us what is the One Wheel Owners Group for everybody who don't know or wants to go there and find you guys.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing, the group isn't about exclusivity. The reason why it's closed is, one, we did want to try it to veer to people who already owned a One Wheel. Now, if you don't own a One Wheel, that doesn't mean that we won't let you in. What we've learned as time goes on, the main thing that me and Chris both stand for, and we try to emphasize, is respect and stoke. This is, everything about One Wheel is about having fun. Like, we have enough stress in the real world. So,
Yeah.
so let's leave that on the outside. Let's have the owners group about riding this fun, badass machine. So that's like why now, one of the questions is, did you read our rules and guidelines? And if you don't say yes, or you don't say you agree, like, you're not going to join the group, because, we need more positivity in this world globally. And the whole thing about One Wheel is it makes people happy. So let's not fight on the internet over bullshit. Let's go in there, spread awesome rides, show awesome tricks, have a great time, make friends, and lead all the other BS on the outside.
Yeah, I think too.
So,
I think,
and we do, we mute people, we block people, because there's no reason for this not to be 100% positive, fun experience all the time.
yeah, I think too. And you, Chris, please.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, for us, we're just trying to promote that positivity, that helpful support, acceptance of, hey, we're all different. Some people are trying to hit top speed, and that's okay, but hopefully they realize the risk. Some people are just looking for a little bit of insight and information on what should I do. A lot of your questions were very great, Nelson, there, to kind of hit on these high points of, what's the preferred kind of device for this, and what should I be looking for, and in terms of safety gear, or I just need some help, and you really just get around like-minded individuals, and our one rule is typically just to be decent. That's really it. A lot of people say, well, we should have like a frequently asked questions, and that's great. We try to put up something like that, and unfortunately, not a lot of people really seem to have interacted with it or liked it. But we just try our best, and it's almost a repeating theme. Not daily, of course, but usually on every couple of months or so, there's usually the same scenario where we're just imploring people to enjoy the One Wheel, enjoy the community. It is such a great community. You're going to meet some great people, but just to be decent, just have a great time.
Yeah, I think, like Jeremy said, that was the important thing. If you come to a group, you have to read and understand the rules of the group. Every group
Right.
has rules. You have to respect it, and if that fits to you, you can come and say, I want to join the group. But I think more than maybe 50 or 60% of the persons, they don't read nothing. They just say, oh, that is the big group, I'm going to go there. That's and then later, when they are put it out, or they receive a warning, they say, why did I receive it? And then you say, okay, that's the rule number one, number two, and that's the important thing that the people have to understand. Groups like your groups, guys, there's a big, very big group. You have to control it every day, because it's lots of people riding every day, and if you don't have rules, that you're going to lose the control, and of course it's not going to be nice for you. And that's why I come to the next question, that is like this. When you see it, that this group was like, that's why I want to talk about the second group. The second group, when you see that was lots of people complaining, or was lots of not so easy videos to see, or photos, that which one from you came with the idea to make this crash group?
So that really actually came about, Jeremy, if you don't mind me asking or talking about it, but it's an opportunity, like Jeremy mentioned before, to gather a little bit of data points in a way, but it also became a situation where people would complain about it, like Nelson, like you had talked about. Not everybody really wants to see a bunch of scraped up knees or elbows or what have you,
I
and
don't, I don't,
even
I
worse.
don't like it. I don't like it.
Right,
To be
right.
honest.
So it's not about hiding anything or concealing anything. It's really just about, hey, look, this is what the better majority of the folks in the group had expressed an interest to have something be in a different place, or to have some sort of a header in their post that said, as our group guidelines have always said, or for a long, long time, if you want to post something, just read the guidelines on how to do something like that. But the crash group itself can provide some pretty useful and very visual
Humbling
information and humbling information about,
Yeah,
watch out, this is some stuff that can happen.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
but
it really its roots really came from one butt cheek that was heard around the world. One man showed his bruised ass, and that was when we said enough is enough. Sorry, two
Vitto!
butt cheeks, maybe two.
but let me see. Like I think like that. I think the idea was fantastic. First of all, I don't like to see it. It's not because I don't care about my friends who ride it, but sometimes it's difficult for us to see something like that, because sometimes they are not so it's not so easy to see it. And I think that you create two separate worlds that you can suppose you can put out crashes and enjoy, because enjoy is very good and crashes I think is not good for anyone. Everybody's going to be upset because is one friend of you is going to have an accident. And sometimes it's not easy, because maybe you are in home with your kids seeing your one wheel owners group, and of one moment to another you see a crash and your kid is with you, or your wife, or we never know, sensible persons who cannot see that. And I think that was the best way for you to to do it. And then there is the third group. I think that is important for us for you to explain why do you make this the third group, that is like the new riders and the pre sales, what it means, the pre sales, for what is that?
Well, we have so many good quality people in this community, and we have a lot of people that are helpers that have no problem answering the same question, or what tire PSI should I use, or this or that. So the pre-ride sales group was to hopefully try to, for the people that are thinking about buying a one wheel, to answer those questions there. It's that was the main point of it. It's there if new riders want to ask super basic questions or don't own a one wheel. But it is what it is. Some people use it. Some, we still get the questions in the big group, but that was my attempt, to try to segment some of those repeatable questions into a forum where they would be better located.
That's why, guys, if you came here tomorrow or next day, and when you come to see the video, you have the opportunity to see that it's three different groups here. That's why they are here today. That is the first one, the group, the owners, the one wheel owners group. And then you have here the crash. You can go there if you have something to put it. I think they are close to 10,000 guys in there. There is lots of, I hope that nobody have a crash, but it's always going to happen. And then you have the third group. If you are new, you go there, you can make your questions, you can find the answers there, and you can make for the pro sales. You can see lots of guys who make products and explain you what you can use. I know when I started it was very difficult for me, and sometimes for you to answer the same question all the time is not easy. And I think if you go to this group, it's close to 4,000 now, is the best way for you to go and have answer some nice answers and very quick answers. That's why I come to the next question is like this. You guys, when you go out with your boards, do you are guys who like to use cameras? Do you prefer to go out? Because I know the two of you was very difficult. Was the two guys was very difficult for me to find a video from you guys. From the other guys, I find videos from everybody.
Right.
But from the two of you, it was like a big. It's like I was like upset, and I was every day trying to find the videos. And today I see you in Instagram, and that was the videos I find from you guys. I think you are very private. I understand you have a big group, 24,000 persons. It's not easy for you to share your rides and everything, and not to go to all the rides, because I know with this big group you have every day people inviting you to go to this ride, go there,
Yeah.
and it's not easy
Well,
for you guys.
yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing is too for both of us. Like I'm outside of Philadelphia. We have a relatively small one wheel community. It's growing very fast. But it's just the East Coast versus the West Coast. You know, the West Coast is exploding at an exponential rate. Florida's exploding. Texas is exploding. New York, North Jersey-ish area, Boston is exploding. Philadelphia is a little bit farther behind. Not to talk for Chris, but Chris, he's also not, there's not a ton of one wheels around his local area. So between me juggling my computer company, juggling street shred, when I do find time to ride, it's usually in Ocean City, Maryland, and usually I'm just grabbing the board and going. So I don't do that much filming. Chris does way more filming and has done some phenomenal shots, some really neat shots lately. And he's definitely got a knack for it, I think. But he's definitely more the photographer of the two of us for sure.
Yeah.
I
And
appreciate that. So it's funny, like I had to chuckle a little bit because my wife and kids would definitely agree that I tend to want to take pictures or videos of almost everything, but definitely one wheel. Like I'm one wheel crazy. And I do like to take different creative shots for Jeremy, for Street Shred and OW Armor previously. But I think Jeremy was just having an earthquake over there.
No,
Wherever he was.
I only have a couple minutes left before I have
I
to
got
go.
you. You're fine.
yeah, we're
But-
going to we're going to go to the final questions, and we're going to close it. But
Yeah,
please,
yeah.
please, you can answer.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, like I really enjoy taking videos. I have, the GoPro on the stick. It's not really a GoPro for me. It's a DJI Osmo Action. I just shout out to Nick Sanfilippo there for sending me the cool cover. But just for me, it's just an easy way to kind of enjoy that stuff. I use this thing from Optics. That's a pretty neat little setup in its own way that kind of lets you get some creative shots as well. You actually just turn on the video and now I'm filming it, right? So it's a super lightweight magnetic little camera system. And it's also pretty neat because you can throw it onto a magnet on your board. That's what I take some of my shots with. Or put it on my hat. You can put it on your helmet. So it's actually a pretty good setup. So you have some eyeglass attachments for it as well. So right now
I
it's
never
filming
see
you
it.
guys.
I never see it. That is like
Yeah, it's
crazy.
waterproof. It's just a sweet way to go and take some unique point of view, capture shots, that sort of thing. But I'm always out there taking video and putting something on Instagram. I do that more so than I would ever do YouTube or anything like that. For me, that's just what happens.
So
Shout
guys,
out to the old Bob Stoke Shop over here from Bob Nicholson.
I think the camera is fantastic. I think maybe I'm going to see it. It was the first time I see it because I came in your Instagram, and maybe it's a nice thing for us to use it. And again, I'm going to tell you, they are not paying me nothing. We are just sharing with you guys some information. I think Jeremy has lots of good products. If you have the chance, go to his company. I think everybody knows this company. Yeah, I don't need to make no propaganda, but I always make this propaganda because I think that is important for the one wheelers to see that is lots of companies, not just one wheel. The company, there is lots of guys working and doing stuff for you guys. Maybe sometimes better because it's different, or maybe it's the better for you. Everybody can use it. And I come to the last questions. First of all, I want to say, what type of grip tape do you use normally? First of all, that is just before we go to the end. What type of grip tape, Chris, do you use normally?
So I use what Jeremy uses because I use Jeremy's products. I use the Viper Pad, the Cobra Pad. I mean, I've had opportunities to try some different grip tape in the past, and Jeremy's experimented with some. And there's some great vendors out there in our OneWheel community that we all probably know a lot about.
Yeah,
The Float Life and Craft and Ride. They kind of try some different things.
but
Jeremy is also always innovating, and so I really just get behind what is on the Viper pad. It's a great traction pad. It's a comfortable pad for my trail rides and all the Rudy and Rocky sections. It's just great. It's pretty
and you,
easy.
Jeremy, what you?
Um, it
It's not. It's
depends.
not. It's not the seller. It's
Yeah,
yes. It's the
no,
Jeremy.
yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of the grip tapes are pretty similar. I've actually been working with Craft and Ride to release a new grip tape, because you do have, there's some people that love the traction pad. The traction pad combined with the Viper pad is usually going to give you more. It's going to be a more comfortable ride. But we then, there's a lot of people that like the extra grip that you're going to get with grip tape. So I'm actually in the next couple of weeks going to be releasing a new product using Craft and Ride grip tape with an EVA foam layer to kind of bridge the gap between the comfort of the traction pad with grip tape. So I've been experimenting with that. The feedback's been great. Most of my products when it comes to grip tape has been Vicious grip tape. But we'll slowly be migrating to Craft and Ride grip tape over the next couple months.
Yeah, and then I come to the question that I forget it in the beginning. I have to ask it to Jeremy and to Chris. What was the sensation the first time you ride a one wheel?
Well, I was shaking like a leaf. I immediately fell off the thing. Two little girls laughed at me. And then I got back on and I rode about another 6 feet and the battery died. Because it was unbalanced because it had been at the store for so long.
Because you started like me. You started with the V1.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so great. So I don't think it was too long after the Christmas snow or something, but I'm in my backyard on the uneven ground and just trying to do this and just get on it and ride, and it was just awesome. It was just it's such a cool feeling to get on this thing and kind of be in a skateboard stance, a snowboard stance, and I've never surfed, but I mean, I grew up in Long Island, New York, and around the water. It's just fun, just a neat experience to just to have something futuristic. Really, I mean, it's just amazing. And obviously, I'm very bored with it right now. You can tell I'm not even excited about it. Right. So I'm 4 years later. Right. I mean,
My,
it's still there. Totally.
my first time I think was like Jeremy. I go out and I don't know what is a pushback because I don't read nothing, and I say, why is
Read
this
nothing.
shit pushing me back? Do I have to go faster? And then of one moment to another that disconnected and bah. And I say, okay, now I know, I understand. I go to the internet and I say, why this is doing? Is the board broken or something? I go to internet and I say pushback, and I say pushback in a one wheel is like you go to the limit, and
Yeah.
I say, oh,
And we were all noobs, right, or newbies, or whatever you want to say. We're all new at something, always, right?
always. That's why I think it's good for them to go to your. First of all, I think that is very important for everybody to go to the first group of you guys who are starting to learn a little more before you do some mistakes. Is always good to read, and then if you have a small scratch in the beginning, you go to the second group, and if you want, then you are prepared, you go to the big group. So I just going to go to the last question that is very important for me, my friends. What do you like to happen in this year 21 with you and the guys who are together in your group?
I would love to just see people take that for what it is. Just take it as a group that is supportive and positive and promote this stoke. We don't need the negativity stuff. We're happy to answer questions. If you don't like something, maybe you can kind of practice a little scroll on by type of thing. You know, it's just human nature. Just, you know, one of those scenarios. I mean, here, three of us, when we first got on this board, we probably didn't read the manual, but it would have been beneficial to read it and, you know, you experience it. But nobody blasted us. Hopefully, if we asked the question on the internet about, hey, I've just had this before. I remember asking, you know, should I get a fender or something at one point in time as a brand new rider? And, you know, hopefully we can just be better ambassadors for all of us, for the community at large. It is such an awesome community. I know Jeremy's got to get going, so I'll let him answer. But really, just, hey, 2021, let's make
I
it
have a
better.
date. I'm already late.
Good. It's all up to us. You know what I mean? Like, it's up to us. It's not up to Jeremy and me, Chris and Nelson. We love, you know, being on your show and appreciate what you're doing. But it's up to all of us to just be better. I mean, it sounds like a little kumbaya, I guess, but, you know, just be better.
It's so
Let's make it
easy to
great.
push someone down. Like, let's lift people up. That's all I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, that, you know, the one wheel is equals fun, equals stress free, equals good time. Like, let's just go with that and leave all the other bullshit at the door. That's all I could ask for, you know. So fingers crossed. Maybe this is the year that, you know, we all pull together. You know, we knock this COVID BS out. We get
We'll
to
see
the next
Nelson at Float Life Fest, maybe something like that.
Make
If
some
they
lifelong
open,
connections.
if they open the boards, my friend, I'm going to be there for
That'd
sure.
be awesome. That'd be great.
And the other thing I just want to say to you guys, first of all, this is not my show. This is the show for the community. That is what why I do this. I just do this because I think nobody was talking about us, talking about riders, talking about groups, talking about the work that you guys make to make these groups. That's why I make this group. And if someday this group is going to be bigger, I hope that I'm a cook. I don't do that I'm not a YouTuber. I do that because I love it. First of all, today I have Jeremy, I have Chris here. It's going to be two persons that I'm going to meet in the future, and I have the pleasure to talk with you. That is not my show. That is, without you, the two of you was nothing, my friend. That's the important. That is for us. That's why I want to thank to Chris. I want to thank to Jeremy to lose your time. I know that Jeremy as a
He's got a date.
as a date, and we are destroying his date. And he's going to kill us later. I want to thank to everybody who came here. I hope that one day I'm going to have an opportunity to sit with Chris and sit with Jeremy, and we have a very good chat, have something to drink, and have fun riding. The three of
Enjoy a
us.
beer, man.
And be safe, guys. Enjoy it. You and your families and your friend. Thank you for coming here. I want to thank to everybody who came here to the live, and to everybody who's going to see later. Don't forget Jeremy and Chris and Victor and the guys from OneWheel owners group. They are always there for you guys to help you. Try to be polite, try to be nice, enjoy it, have a ride, float, and we see us. Bye bye, guys.